Sky never asks for permission before it sets the world on fire. Something ancient is stirring. You can feel it in your bones, like a storm pressing against your skin before it breaks. This is not just weather. This is not just astrology. This is a cosmic collision course, and the countdown has already started. Within the next 24 hours, Earth will be hit by a massive solar storm, a surge of raw energy from the sun hurtling straight toward us. And just as the dust begins to settle, the sun itself shifts into Taurus, the sign of Earth, stability, and the body. You might think that sounds grounding, but think again. Imagine pouring gasoline over stone. Nothing happens until a spark lands. This is that spark. We're not just talking about science or planets. We're talking about your emotions, your body, your mind, all getting scrambled and reset like someone's pulling the plug on the cosmic circuit board. Relationships may crack, tech might glitch, and for many the truth will hit like lightning, sudden, bright, and impossible to ignore. Miss this moment and you miss the map. Ignore it and you're walking blind through a firestorm. If you feel like something's been building up, something invisible but real, you're not wrong, and you're not alone. This moment is a mirror, showing us who we are beneath the noise. But time is short, so listen. Like this video if your gut tells you something big is coming. Subscribe if you're ready to stay ahead of the curve. And drop 77 in the comments to lock in this energy and help spread the word before it's too late. Now let's dig into what's really going on. But here's the thing, nobody's truly ready. And that's exactly why you need to be. Because this isn't a moment to sit back and scroll. This is a cosmic wake-up call with your name written all over it. Whether you believe in astrology or not, whether you're a Taurus or couldn't care less about the Zodiac, this is still going to touch you. This storm doesn't need your belief. It just needs your energy, and it's already reaching for it. Think of it like this. Imagine you're standing on the shore, and two massive waves are headed your way. One is chaos, wild, untamed, shaking the ground beneath your feet. The other is grounding, heavy, steady, pulling you inward like gravity. Now imagine both hit at the same time. What happens to your balance? Exactly. That's what this moment is. One wave is the solar storm, pulsing straight from the heart of the sun, a blast so strong it's bending Earth's magnetic field. The other is the sun moving into Taurus, the most grounded, body-focused sign in the Zodiac. One cracks the surface, the other digs into your roots. Together, they crack open something deeper. This isn't happening in the stars, it's happening through you. The headaches, the weird dreams, the sudden urge to clean your space or call someone you haven't spoken to in years. This is the storm speaking in your language. It's subtle, but it's relentless. You're being asked to feel more, notice more, wake up more. People around you might start venting out of nowhere. You might get strange messages, signs, symbols in your day, and it's not random. It's a direct download from this cosmic shift. You're not just reacting, you're receiving. You're not just living, you're being initiated. We're entering a 24-hour window where the veil thins. Truth shows up without a filter. Technology may glitch, plans might suddenly shift, but more than anything, you're going to feel the pressure to become who you were meant to be, not someday, but now. And the universe, it doesn't whisper anymore, it roars. You may think you're breaking down, but you're actually breaking through. Taurus energy wants you to hold your ground. The solar storm wants to shake you loose. It's like building a house during an earthquake. Every brick you lay now will define the structure of your next chapter. So be aware, be awake, be brave, because this isn't just astrology, it's alignment, and it's coming straight for your soul. Stay with me, because we're about to go deeper. What you do in the next few hours could change everything. Let's go deeper, because the shift isn't just out there in space, it's already creeping into your dreams, your body, and your breath. Have you noticed it? That strange heaviness when you wake up, like you were living a whole other life while you slept? People everywhere are waking up uneasy, not because of what happened yesterday, but because of what played out behind their eyelids. The dreams have changed. They've become more urgent, more emotional, more real. You're late, you're lost, you're falling, you're missing something important. You're running, but it's like your feet don't touch the ground. These aren't just bad dreams. They're messages from the deep, dressed up in metaphors your soul understands better than your mind ever could. This isn't random. This isn't stress, this is preparation. As the sun moves into Taurus, an earth sign wired directly into the nervous system, the senses and survival, your subconscious is responding with sensory rehearsals. These intense dreams, they're not predicting disaster, they're training you for it, like a spiritual fire drill, a kind of cosmic muscle memory. Your spirit is running simulations so that when the ground beneath you does shift in real life, your body won't freeze. It'll remember how to find stillness in the storm. It's wild, isn't it? That your dreams of missing a plane or falling through a collapsing bridge might actually be your soul preparing you to hold your power when things get unstable. And instability isn't just coming, it's already here. That's why everything feels so split right now. One minute, you're spilling your truth to a total stranger like you've known them forever. The next, your closest friend asks what's wrong, and you just smile and say, "I'm fine." The emotional whiplash is real, it's confusing, exhausting. You want to be heard and understood with every cell in your body, and yet part of you is terrified to be seen, to be known. But this isn't you acting weird. This isn't you falling apart. This is energy working through you, your system learning how to hold space for both truth and protection at the same time. You're flipping between exposure and defense, openness and silence, not because you're unstable, but because your soul is scanning for safety. It's testing the waters, asking, can I be real here? Will I be held or harmed if I show up fully? And here's the cosmic punchline. Taurus rules the throat, the channel of communication, but not just any voice, the real one, the part of you that doesn't perform, doesn't filter, doesn't adjust for the room. Right now, every conversation is a spiritual checkpoint. Will you speak the truth? Will you silence yourself? Is it safe to be honest yet? If the answer feels like a no, that's okay. Don't force it, but don't bury it either. Just listen. If there's something inside you aching to be said, write it, whisper it, sing it. It doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be real. This season isn't about performance. It's about regulation. The art of expressing yourself without shattering and staying silent without disappearing. This moment is about learning to breathe through intensity, speak through tremors, and ground yourself when the world starts spinning. And it is spinning, fast. The solar storm amplifies it. The Taurus shift anchors it. And you're somewhere in the middle, learning how to hold both chaos and calm without losing either one. So if you felt emotional, off balance, maybe even on the verge of tears without knowing why, you're right where you're supposed to be. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're in training. And the lesson? Hold your truth like it's sacred, move like the storm is already here, and speak like the earth itself is listening. And speak like the earth itself is listening, because it is. And it's answering back through every craving, every sigh, every moment you've caught yourself longing for something soft, something safe, something familiar. Somewhere between the silence and the floodgates, that quiet edge where you feel like you're about to break but don't, that's where the real transformation lives. Not in the loud breakthroughs, but in the tender ones. In the craving for comfort that shows up like a memory from a life you barely remember. Suddenly you're reaching for old songs, warm foods, favorite hoodies, the smell of something you haven't thought about in years. That isn't just nostalgia, it's the voice of Taurus. See, as the sun moves into this grounded earth sign, the body begins to ache for stillness, for safety, for simplicity. It's not because you're lazy, it's not because you've given up. You're reaching for a kind of safety your soul never truly had, and your system is begging, let me feel safe again. But here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Comfort can heal, yes, but it can also hide. And this season, it's asking you to learn the difference. Taurus teaches you how to root into yourself, how to feel every moment fully. But if you're not careful, those roots can become chains. The blanket can become a wall. What feels like self-care can slip into self-abandonment. You start calling it rest, but really you're hiding from the friction that makes you grow. This isn't judgment, this is awareness. There's no shame in needing calm. But ask yourself, is what you're reaching for helping you rise or keeping you small? The comfort zone isn't home if it keeps you from becoming. And this is where it gets real. Taurus doesn't just rule the senses. It rules what we rely on when the world feels unsafe. Food, money, nature, touch, nostalgia. It's all sacred, But it's also symbolic. If you're fixated on comfort right now, dig deeper. What are you really trying to return to? You're not just craving chocolate or silence or a nap. You're craving the version of yourself who wasn't constantly fighting to survive. You're reaching for wholeness through whatever feels warm and soft and known. But growth doesn't happen in what's known. It happens when you step outside the blanket and say, okay, I can hold myself now. This moment is asking you to redefine home, not as a place, not as a person, but as a feeling you create inside yourself. And let's be real, it was never about the money. It was never even about the comfort. It was always about what you were willing to trade your truth for just to feel safe. And now, you don't have to trade anymore. Not your peace, not your truth, not your soul's worth for a false sense of safety. That game is over. And what comes next, it's going to ask you to prove that you know it. Because whether you've admitted it to yourself or not, you've felt the shift. It's in the air, under your skin, pressing on your chest like a question you can't quite answer. Some people are feeling it as sudden, sharp money stress. Others are waking up with this quiet frustration, like their time is being stolen, their energy is being used up without thanks, their worth constantly under a microscope. That's not a coincidence. That's Taurus energy in motion. But don't get it twisted. This isn't just about your bank account. It's about your boundaries. This isn't just about wealth. It's about value. Not what you own, but what you allow. Not what you earn, but what you accept. This season is going to test that. And not with some dramatic cosmic smackdown. No, Taurus doesn't work like that. This sign doesn't scream. It pressures, quietly, relentlessly, and in ways that feel so subtle, you might not even realize it's a test until you've already compromised. You'll get opportunities, small ones, but real ones, to betray yourself, to say yes when you mean no, to give your energy to someone who only takes, to prove your love where it's not being returned, to offer your time where there is no respect. And here's what happens every time you cross that line. The universe pushes back, not with chaos, but with weight, a slow, grinding heaviness that builds in your chest, a fatigue that doesn't make sense, a sadness that lingers even on a good day. That's not burnout. That's your soul saying, I'm tired of selling myself short. You're being asked on a soul level, where are you leaking your life force? And is it worth the cost? This is your cosmic audit, a divine recalibration. The universe is watching not how you hustle, but how you honor. It's noticing every moment you choose peace over performance, every time you hold a boundary without guilt, every time you walk away from a table where love isn't being served. And yes, it might feel like everything's crumbling. Plans fall through, people ghost, doors slam, but you're not being punished, you're being protected. Taurus energy clears out what doesn't value you, and it does so with stubborn grace. What doesn't serve can't stay, not anymore. Ask yourself this, and be honest. If everything you poured yourself into vanished today, if every job, every relationship, every obligation disappeared, would you still feel worthy? Would you still know who you are? Because that's what this energy wants you to remember. Your value is not up for negotiation. It never was. But if you've forgotten that, this season will remind you. Sometimes with blessings, sometimes with silence, sometimes with the absence of the thing you were clinging to. But all of it is love. The universe isn't asking if you can survive scarcity. It's asking if you can remember yourself when there's no applause, no paycheck, no validation. When it's just you and your breath and the mirror. That's where your worth lives. Not in what you give others, but in what you choose to keep for yourself. So if it feels like life is squeezing you right now, let it. That pressure is sacred. It's not there to break you. It's there to refine you. Like coal to diamond, like silence to truth. Like coal to diamond, like silence to truth. That's the kind of pressure we're under right now. And here's where it leads us, right into the uncomfortable question most people are afraid to ask. Are you actually building a life, or just maintaining a routine that's slowly killing your spark? It's subtle at first. Maybe it's a job that pays the bills but dims your spirit, a schedule that feels productive but leaves no room to breathe, a lifestyle that looks put together from the outside but feels hollow when no one's watching. You tell yourself this is what responsible people do. Stick with what works, play it safe, stay the course. But something deeper in you is starting to squirm. That low-key tension, that hum beneath the surface, it's getting louder. That's Taurus energy too. It's the protector. It says, hold the line. guard the structure. But the shadow side of Taurus, staying loyal to a life that no longer lights you up just because you built it. You're not resisting change because you're weak. You're resisting it because you don't want to waste what you've already given: the time, the energy, the years. But here's the truth that hits like a whisper you can't unhear. What you're calling stability might actually be slow spiritual erosion, comfort that calcifies, security that suffocates. This season doesn't ask you to burn it all down, but it does ask you to tell the truth, to admit what's not working, to notice where the light went out. Taurus doesn't need fast moves. It needs real ones. Grounded, brave decisions made from clarity, not fear. If the plan you're following no longer excites you, question it. You're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to outgrow your own blueprint. Some things may not need to be destroyed, just reimagine. Gently, courageously, in your own time, but honestly. And when things begin to shift, when plans crumble, when people exit, when doors that once felt wide open begin to close, don't panic. That's not misfortune. That's your alignment test. The universe is guiding you, stripping away what no longer serves, delaying what isn't aligned, redirecting you, not to punish you, but to protect your spark, to remind you that your life force is sacred, and that you're allowed to rebuild not from fear or obligation, but from inspiration. Because here's what you really need. Not more stuff, not more status, not more approval, but more truth. You need to remember who you were before the world convinced you that you had to earn your worth. And that brings us back to now. There's a reason people are suddenly showing up in your life with their broken pieces. They're not just venting, they're gravitating toward you, toward your energy. Something inside you has shifted, something has stabilized, and whether you feel it yet or not, the world feels it in you. That's the magic of Taurus. It's not flashy. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't chase. It attracts through stillness, through presence, through the quiet confidence of someone who knows their roots run deep, no matter what's blowing through the surface. You didn't ask for this role, but life trained you for it. Through every heartbreak, every hard lesson, every night you held yourself together while no one was watching. And now you've become the thing others are searching for. Not a savior, not a guru, a mirror, a reminder, a space. Because Taurus is the earth, and earth holds. It roots, it nourishes, it doesn't run. And now you are embodying that energy. Not because you've got it all figured out, but because you've learned how to stay grounded while the rest of the world spins out. That makes you rare. That makes you medicine. You're not just holding space for others. You're becoming the space, a safe place where others remember who they are. And that, quietly, humbly, powerfully, is the highest form of leadership there is. Now that we've walked through the shift, the signs, and the soul work, let's talk about something practical, something sacred. Because all this cosmic intensity, it's not just for thinking about, it's for moving with. And this moment is powerful enough to shape your next chapter, if you know how to work with it. Yes, it is safe to do rituals right now. In fact, it's more than safe. It's necessary. But not just any ritual. Not flashy, complicated ones with 20 steps and burning herbs you can't even pronounce. This is Taurus energy. It wants simplicity, substance, stillness. It wants you to make magic with what's already around you. Your breath, your body, your boundaries. Because here's the truth. Taurus rituals aren't about performance. They're about presence. And during this cosmic window, when a solar storm meets an earthy shift, what you do with intention becomes 10 times more magnetic. But what you do out of habit, it gets heavy, fast. So how do you honor this moment? How do you ground in while everything else stirs up? Start with your space. Your home isn't just where you live, it's where your energy rests. Right now, your outer environment is a mirror for your inner world. Clean one drawer, light one candle, rearrange one corner. This isn't about making your space Instagram worthy, it's about reminding your nervous system, we're safe here. And when the body feels safe, the soul opens up. Next, listen to your body. Taurus rules the senses, so feed them, gently, mindfully. Drink water slowly. Let music play in the background while you work. Run your fingers through fabric that feels comforting. Make a meal with care. The ritual isn't the thing, it's the presence you bring to the thing. Touch becomes prayer, nourishment becomes ceremony. This isn't extra, it's essential. Then speak your truth, even if it's only to yourself. Taurus rules the throat, This is a time for clearing your voice, not just in conversations with others, but in the mirror. Speak out loud what you've been afraid to name. Not for likes, not for validation, just for liberation. Write it if you can't say it. Whisper it if the words feel too big. But get it out. Your body is not a storage unit for unspoken truth. Create a worth audit, on paper. No filters, no fluff. Ask yourself, where am I investing energy that doesn't give back? Who or what drains me? What am I tolerating that no longer aligns with the version of me I'm becoming? Then, gently bless and release one of those things. Not everything, just one. This small act of energetic sovereignty is a ritual in itself. But here's what to avoid during this window, especially over the next 24 to 72 hours. Don't try to manifest from desperation. The solar storm amplifies energy, yes, but it also distorts. If you're spinning in fear, urgency, or grasping, your ritual can turn into a loop of frustration. Wait until you're calm. Wait until your heart is clear. Then ask. Taurus energy responds best when you ask from a grounded place, not a panicked one. Avoid quick fix magic. This isn't the time for love spells on that one person who won't text you back, or money rituals rooted in get-rich-quick energy. That stuff has no roots, and Taurus doesn't bless what's not rooted. Instead, focus on rituals that support your wholeness, your health, your sense of safety, your worth. Don't bypass the body. If you try to escape your physical reality right now, through overworking, scrolling, numbing out, you'll miss the real power of this season. Taurus wants you in your body, grounded, aware. It doesn't have to be fancy. Even 5 minutes of stillness with your hand on your heart is more powerful than an hour-long ceremony performed half-aware. And most importantly, don't ignore the signs. If something breaks, if someone leaves, if a plan falls through, it's a message. Don't rush to fix it. Don't label it as bad, just notice. Sometimes the ritual is just being willing to witness what's falling away without clinging to it. This is a rare kind of moment, a crossroads between heaven and earth, between fire and soil. The solar storm cracks open what's rigid. Taurus builds something better with what's left. Your ritual doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. Light a candle, breathe deeply, speak your truth, bless your body, and remind yourself that in a world chasing more, you are learning to be enough right here, as you are. You're not just doing a ritual, you are becoming one. And that's the most powerful magic there is. So here we are, at the edge of the shift, grounded in truth, and ready to move forward with intention. If this message stirred something in you, don't just keep it to yourself. Like this video if you feel the energy rising. Subscribe so you stay ahead of these powerful cosmic changes. And in the comments, drop the number 77 to lock in your alignment and let the universe know you're awake, aware, and ready. You're not just watching a moment unfold, you are the moment. Stay rooted, stay real, stay ready. The next chapter, it's already begun.